What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. I am your host. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter. I'm also a casino host, proprietor of this Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. And I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Maitane Orue, and I may be butchering that, but she is a broadcast journalist that is based now out of Twin Falls, Idaho. She first went from Orlando, working in the school, to Miami, Florida. Now she's in Twin Falls, Idaho, and she is a news reporter or bilingual reporter out there. We're going to talk to her about her why in journalism, talk to her about some of her favorite things, maybe some of her favorite stories, and just get to know her a little bit. I love getting to know reporters because I'm a reporter myself, and just being able to share experiences and learn about them and how they deal with what they deal with through the industry. So without any further ado, I bring to you Maitane.
Hi, it's not. Oh, okay. I wasn't letting me put on my video and I was kind of confused, but we're good now.
That's okay. Good evening. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you? Oh, there we go.
Doing good.
Good.
I'm
How
doing good. Just wanted to say good welcome. Sorry. Welcome to my podcast, the Work Hard, Play Harder
Thank
podcast.
you.
Thank you so much for hopping on. How are you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm good. Today's my day off. Monday and Tuesdays are my days off, so
I,
I'm excited to go back to work tomorrow.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So before I start peppering you with all these questions, I want
Yeah.
to be able to reiterate to you why I wanted to bring you on. So I'm a
Okay.
sports reporter based out of Minnesota. So I'm here in Minnesota doing sports reporting. I love talking to other reporters. I know you're a bilingual reporter that's out in
Yes.
Twin Falls, Idaho, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yes.
you transplanted from Miami, Florida to Twin Falls.
Yeah.
And you were
Yeah.
able to do your thing as far as reporting goes. Obviously, I looked at your reel. You did an anchor reel, but you also had some stand-ups as well. And obviously, what impressed me the most was the fact that you can go back from English to Spanish, being bilingual, but also the different stories that you covered. I think one of the stories I saw, you talked about your president at UCF passing away in an anchor role.
Yes.
And then I saw a package where you did it, where you was at the gym. I saw that.
Yeah.
Um,
I was.
I saw that too. So it just shows that you have a lot of passion for this, like I do, and I love talking to people, love doing stories, and love just being a pillar in the community. So I always enjoy talking to fellow reporters and hearing their why and hearing their story.
Yeah. Do you want me to just say how I got here, basically?
Well, I can start with the questions. My first question is your
Yeah,
why,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
What is your why of why you do what you do, and did you have any role models? Did you have any inspirations growing up? Talk to me. What led you into a career of journalism?
So I actually went to college thinking I was going to go into law school. I wanted to be a lawyer since I was in seventh grade, and that was my, I guess, passion at the time. And when I was going into college, my dad was like, "Hey, if you don't like poli sci, instead of majoring in it, why don't you minor in it, and then you can major in something that you will actually can have a career in because." Unfortunately, some poli-sci majors turn into social studies teachers, and I obviously
Sure,
did not want to become a
sure.
teacher. So I always liked to write. I've always loved writing essays, just writing in general. So my dad was like, "Why don't you do journalism?" And I was like, "Yeah, sounds good. Like let me just go into the classes and major in it. I like, writing, so I thought it was going to be very easy and I was going to I was going to be fine with it.
Sure.
So my second semester going into, so I basically started majoring in journalism, minoring in poli-sci pre-track. I go into my second semester, my freshman year, and I am in one of my class. I'm in two classes. One was the principles of journalism, which was more, you wouldn't really write, it was more just testing based on on the principles of journalism, and then another class that was more writing.
Okay.
Um, and principles of journalism starts, and this professor, his name's Professor Rick Brunson, a legend, one of the people that I still talk to. His class was just very, very interesting. And he would bring a lot of guest speakers that would tell us about their journey. And I don't know, he brought in this woman who did sports reporting. And I grew up watching soccer as a little girl. My dad's from Spain, so that's what
Okay.
I watched,
Awesome.
soccer,
Yeah.
tennis and stuff. And she talked about it, and at that moment I was like, maybe I do want to do journalism. And I kept on going through my classes, and I think my sophomore year I realized that I didn't want to do law anymore.
Mm,
But I didn't tell my parents anything because they were very set on me being a lawyer.
okay.
So I kind of kept it to myself, and I started doing an internship, a sports internship with UCF Athletics, because I went to
Yeah.
school at UCF at University of Central Florida.
Mm,
And I really liked it. I really liked writing about the sports. So I
mhm,
started minoring, I did a double minor in poli-sci and in sports journalism.
mm.
Why I kept my minor in poli-sci is because I did enjoy the classes, but I didn't feel passion for them.
Right.
I really
Right.
liked political reporting, which is kind of my, I would say a little bit of my niche here. I really, really enjoy. And in college, I mean, Ron DeSantis is our governor. Um, and he did a lot of changes. So it helped me go more into political writing and doing hard news, which I
Okay.
started doing my third and fourth semester, which I started doing it and I loved it because I got to talk to people that knew what was going on and do a little bit more research, which is also something that I think I really liked journalism, that I could do research, and also that there's various branches. I don't have to just stay in one branch. I could move around to sports or to entertainment and to other branches in the journalism field, basically.
Sure. Absolutely. That's awesome. Real quick, how do you pronounce your name?
It's Maitane, but people call me Mai.
Okay, Maitane, but people call you what?
Mai.
My. I like that. My. I
Yeah.
love that. That's very easy, very
Thank
simple.
you. Yeah.
Totally awesome. I love your name. I really do. I just
Thank
was
you.
butchering it before. You don't even want to know what I called it, but that's so awesome.
Everyone's butchered my name, so honestly, nothing surprises me anymore.
Got you. Totally, totally fine. Do you remember that sports reporter that showed up in your class? What was her name?
Yeah, Brianna McNaught. She's not a sports reporter anymore, though. I think she works for the
Oh,
Orange
okay.
County. Yeah,
Got
she
you.
worked in Spectrum News in Orlando, but she doesn't do that anymore.
Got you. Now you said Rick
Yeah.
Brunson. The only Rick Brunson I know is the one that is the father of Jalen Brunson. So was this a different Rick Brunson?
Uh, yeah. This
Okay,
guy,
got you.
I don't know his children's names, but I don't think I don't think it's Jalen Brunson. I don't think that's his
Okay,
last
I'm about to say,
name.
man, because that's the only Rick Brunson that I know of. I believe that was his
Yeah.
dad. Okay, totally awesome. You said you went to the University of Central Florida, which is in Orlando, Florida. Talk to me. Were there any other schools that you were considering going to outside of UCF?
My dream school, which I actually got accepted to, was the University of Maryland in College Park. One of the reasons I did choose journalism too was when COVID hit,
Hmm.
I would watch the news every single day with my parents.
Hmm.
So I saw how important it was to tell the news and how much of an impact it can make on people.
Sure.
Um, and a lot of the reason why I wanted to go to the University of Maryland was because it's near Washington, D.C., and a
Yep.
lot of students would get internships with NBC, CNN, and CNN is one of my favorite news networks and is my goal to make it there. I would really like to work there one day.
I can see it.
So
I can see it.
thank you. So basically, that's one of the schools I wanted to go to. It was between that and Tulane. But
Okay.
unfortunately, I was out of state and it was really, really expensive. And I got Florida Bright Futures. So my parents were like, if you want to do a master's degree, then you can spend your money on that. Or, I mean, at the time it was law school. So I decided to go to the University of Central Florida. I went, I fell in love with the school. I liked that there was a big Hispanic population because I'm really tied into those roots. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't regret it at all. I had the most amazing time of my life at UCF. So I'm really happy I chose to go there.
I love it. On with my girl, Mai, bilingual reporter outside of based in Twin Cities, Idaho, on my Work Harder, Play Harder podcast. Um, I love the fact that you brought up that as far as your roots. I think we need more women reporters, but we also just need more ethnicity in the reporting game, not just news, but all genres. How do you feel about that? Because for me, me being African American, I don't see a whole lot of faces out here reporting of color of my of descent. How do you feel
Yeah.
about more ethnic people being in journalism or the opportunity that they should have?
I mean, I think that a lot more people should be, I mean, obviously it's hard. It's journalism is not for everyone, definitely
Right,
not.
right.
I mean, I talk to my friends about my hours and they're like, you're crazy. So, but I
Mm,
do think that ethnicity is very important, especially for children to see that they can accomplish their dreams.
yes.
Um, and I mean, you being a sports reporter, I mean, women in sports, there's not a lot. And
No,
I have a friend who is Hispanic journalist, sports reporter, Samantha
mm,
Rivera. She works at CBS in Miami. She is
yep.
a boss at her job. She's amazing at what she does. And I think that it's important for more people, to be more open about their ethnicity. There's a lot of people that, might be Hispanic or, mixed or something, and they don't come out and say it. I think it's very
Right.
important to have ethnicity because America is a melting pot. So why shouldn't we show it in this career that America is a melting pot and that
Absolutely.
you can be from wherever or be whatever ethnicity, whatever color, you can still become a reporter or a
I love it.
journalist. It doesn't
I love
matter.
that
Yeah.
perspective. I really do. I want to ask you some favorite questions. Okay. So you just give me some of your favorite things off the rip based upon some of these questions. Are you with me?
Yes.
All right, let's rock. Let's rock. Favorite meal you like to cook?
I don't like cooking, but pasta.
Okay. Well, yeah, pasta's so easy. Do you have a favorite type
Pasta's
of
the best.
pasta? Like maybe
Yeah,
Alfredo
pesto.
or
Pesto pasta with and the sauce that I use for pesto is Costco pesto basil. It's the best.
that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. I
It
like that. Okay.
is.
Favorite concert you've ever attended?
One Direction. They were my first concert, and I loved One Direction a lot. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Story of my life. Story of my
Yeah.
life. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Favorite place you like to travel to?
Yeah, Spain.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've never been to Spain. It's one of my bucket list items. How long
Yeah.
or now how long did you travel there? Like when you went there, how long was you there for?
Oh my God. I went to Spain many times because of my dad. He's from Spain.
Okay.
So, I've been there for 2 weeks, probably is the longest we've gone.
Hmm.
And we've traveled all over the place. So yeah,
That is awesome.
it's
That really
amazing.
is. I love that. I'm looking for. I just got my passport, so I'm good for the next 10
Yeah.
years. So I'm hoping that I can be able to travel a little bit and go overseas a little bit. So
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay.
definitely. Definitely.
Um, favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person?
Soccer for both.
Okay. Okay. Who's your soccer team?
I love soccer. I love Real Madrid.
Oh,
Literally,
okay. Real Madrid. Okay.
yeah.
Now, are
And
you?
I don't know if you can see it, but it's my wallpaper.
Oh, okay. I love that. It was a little blurry, but that's okay. That's totally fine. Are you Ronaldo or Messi?
Neither. Um, this is a tricky question. So I Ronaldo played for Real Madrid and he's good.
Yep.
They're both very good. Messi and Ronaldo
Yes.
are two of the best players.
Yes.
they're kind of whatever for me because they were never my favorite players. My all-time favorite player is Xabi Alonso, who actually is the coach for Leverkusen, who they just won. And my favorite player right now in Real Madrid is Jude Bellingham.
Okay.
So I've never really, I know that everyone's like either Ronaldo or Messi. I like Messi now a lot more because he's playing for Inter Miami,
Right.
but I'm kind of like they're both good. I think Messi's a better player. I think Ronaldo's a better striker.
Oh,
But
yes.
yeah,
No question.
I'm kind of just about
I'm,
it.
I'm totally with you on that, Mai. I'm totally with you. I'm a messy guy. Be honest with you, I just came into soccer about a couple years ago, but
That's
I'm
fine.
not on the Premier League as much, but I am on the MLS.
Yeah.
I was following Atlanta United like really hard because that's where I came from prior to coming to Minnesota.
Okay.
So I still follow Atlanta United, but a lot of the players that I loved left because via transfers or via just free agency and stuff like that. But I'm a
Yeah.
messy guy for sure.
Yeah. Messi's good. Messi's helping Inter Miami a lot. So yeah,
I
I mean,
love it.
for right now, Messi's there. Messi's there for us.
Yes, indeed. Okay,
Yeah.
soccer for both. I love that. Last of the favorites. Favorite restaurant to go to there in Idaho.
Oh, damn. I haven't gone to a lot, so I can't really tell you. I mean, I don't know if it counts as a restaurant, but I love In-N-Out. In Boise, the capital, I went a few weeks ago with one of my coworkers, and In-N-Out just I've had In-N-Out before, but it's just the burgers are just insane.
Yeah, no doubt. I get a double double anytime I go there. Double double with a vanilla milkshake. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's awesome. That is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your day to day process. Right now, you mentioned it before. You said your hours are a little crazy. What are your hours? Like, what do you work?
Typical hours. So day that there's not any breaking news. I wake up at 6 in the morning, but it's because I listened to a podcast called The Mindset Mentor, and they said they gave me like 5 tips for successful people. They say it's best to wake up a lot earlier to have your me time instead of waking up and going straight to work. I
Right.
have to be at work at 9:30. If I don't have any interviews scheduled before, which I try not to, I have to be there at 9:30. So I wake up at 6. I take a shower, get ready basically, read a book, write in my journal, drink lime with water, eat some food, kind of just to myself, something to do like an ab workout at home. And then I mentally prepare myself for what's going to happen, like just check off what my list is today and go to work. When I
Okay.
go to work, I clock in. At 9:30, we have our pitch meeting. So we talk about what stories we're going to do, or if we don't have any stories to pitch, usually our news director will give us a story we can do. Usually everyone comes in with pitches. Being in a newsroom, you get a lot of press releases. So
Yes,
that's a lot of the stories that we do. So press releases are basically your best friend. Also there's like activities, especially in the summer here, there's a lot of activities that you can cover.
I'm sure.
So yeah. So then after that, if I have a story, usually like in the morning, which I usually like to schedule them, I grab a camera, my tripod, my batteries, my SD card, and I go.
Right.
Usually I have 2 stories a day. And I have to go. So either my deadline is usually the 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. shows. I have to have my story in at 4:30 for the 5 p.m., 5:30 for the 6. So you
Sure.
really have to be very strict time management. Like your time management is the essence of it for deadlines. Because if you don't make deadlines, you will get fired.
Yes, you
So,
will. Yep.
yeah. So basically, I try to do it as fast but as good as possible. I get my shots, I get my interview, I go back to the office and I start editing. Um, I think one of the biggest things that I do that might take me a little bit longer than usual is I try to give every story. Every story is important.
Yes.
You know, a story might not be important to you, but it's important to that person. So I try to give the story as like I try to tell the story as best as possible, to give it like the word's not coming to me, but to give it what it deserves, basically. The story
Right.
it deserves.
Absolutely.
So I try to make it as best as I can. And I mean, I've gotten good feedback from the people that, you know, I interviewed or that, you know, was important to them.
Hmm.
Um, so that takes me a little bit of time. Again, if there's no breaking news, I clock out at 6:30. I go to the gym, work out the stress of the day,
I love it.
come
I
back
love
home.
it.
Yeah, I come home. I usually have meal prep. I take a shower, eat, and then I go back to sleep.
I
So,
love that.
yeah.
I do. And you're right. I want to touch upon what you just said because it's so true. Like when you do stories, the importance of every story, regardless of, you know, how important it is to the next person, every story that you do is important because somebody on the TV or somebody that's watching you is going to be like, wow, I'm so happy she did this story. I'm so happy that she was in this community. I'm so happy she told or gave us the 411 on this, right? Um, it's a great segue because I want to talk about mental health, right? Because you seem to have a routine down, right? 9:30 to
Yeah.
6:30. But as we know in journalism, there's breaking news. There's sometimes days where it gets longer than, you know what I mean? So especially in my case, which is sports, you know, sometimes you
Yeah.
have breaking news. I cover 12 high schools and cover a college. So I can understand sometimes there's always sports going on every weekend, right? In some season. Talk to me about your mental health, being able to maintain good mental health and a work life balance, right? You talked about going to the gym and you talked about having that
Yeah.
meet. So you seem like you have a routine, but tell me what happens when that routine is thrown off a little bit because of work. How do
I
you,
get annoyed. I get
right,
really annoyed.
right, right.
Um, I think a big thing is I like what I do. So yes, I get annoyed that I have to leave my house at 8 p.m., but I'm also very, I think something that to me that I like about journalism is you'll never really have a normal day.
Yeah.
It's very spontaneous. I can get a call right now from my boss telling me I have to cover something. But something you really have to touch upon and think about is you can't always say yes because you will burn out. You have
Mm,
to learn how to say no. And for me, it's super, super hard because my parents engraved in my mind that my first job, I would have to say yes to everything. But I talk to my colleagues and they're like, you can't say yes to everything because it will mentally burn you out, which
without question.
I've
Yep.
experienced. Yeah, I've already experienced because I say yes to a lot of stuff. Saying no for your mental health is not bad. Taking a mental health day is not bad. But
Hmm.
something that has helped me, and I think why I haven't broken down into tears, is because I go to therapy. And I've gone to therapy since I was a senior in high school, and it is the best thing ever. I think a lot of people have the stigma of therapy being for people who have mental illnesses, who are depressed, who have anxiety. I am not clinically depressed. I do have anxiety, but I think that is normal. I am not diagnosed with anything.
Sure.
And therapy for me has helped me tremendously because if I have a stressful week, I go to my therapist and I just dump on her everything that happened.
Hmm.
And sometimes you just need someone to talk to that's not your friend, not your parent, just someone to listen to you. And my therapist is awesome. I love her. We've honestly, we've talked about everything. Recently, well, not even recently, but a year ago, I broke up with my ex of 2 years. And there are some days that are harder than others. And I get to talk to her about it.
Sure.
Maybe one day I have a bad day at work. I talk to her about it. So I think therapy is what helps with mental health. And I just think that people need to realize that You don't need to be clinically depressed or clinically like diagnosed with some illness to go to therapy. I really don't think that's a thing that people should think of.
No, I love that. I do. On with my girl, Mai, bilingual reporter based out of Idaho on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Appreciate your transparency. I appreciate your honesty as well. And I want to touch up on two things before I get to this next question. And the first thing was therapy. I want to reiterate what you just said, which is it's okay to go. It's okay to talk about it. Sometimes people see it as a weakness, and it's not really a weakness. Sometimes people see it as, like you said, like something must be wrong with you. This is a wonderful industry to be in. Storytelling is what we love to do. That's our passion. We love talking to people. Every day is different, regardless of what genre you're in, as far as journalism, whether it's news, sports, entertainment, it's different every single day. There's no question about it. But as you know, and you just talked about, you have hard days. And sometimes, talking to your family and friends, sometimes they're kind of predictable with what they're going to tell you when you tell them your stuff. And you're like, maybe it's not best for me to talk to y'all right now. I could come back to you, but I need somebody that's just flat out different. That's not somebody that doesn't know me, somebody that's not going to, kind of be judgmental, somebody that's just going to listen. But I got to pour it all out. And I love the fact that you talked about going to therapy because it's needed, right? It's needed for your mental health to be stable like that. I think the second thing that I wanted to touch up on that you talked about was, for me, it was very tough moving here to Minnesota because I don't have any family out here. My mother's in Georgia and my dad is in upstate New York. So I have family all across the U.S., but coming up here doing sports, doing nights and weekends, it made it tough because I'm a people person. So getting off at midnight on a Tuesday is not conducive to hanging out with anybody. Nobody's going to be awake at that time, right? So I was alone for a bit. And it was tough for me to kind of just navigate through it and make friends, and it wore on me a little bit. So I had to find things to do that would kind of get me going a little bit. The gym was one thing. I do have a gym membership. Poetry. I love poetry. Love writing poetry as well. I love going on walks as well. And then, of course, I started to meet a couple people, started to have a couple friends and do stuff like that. The more time you spend at a place, you typically do that. But when I first moved here, it was tough. I mean, I'm a mama's boy for sure. And I definitely missed her. So I had to call her a lot and had to talk to her. And it was affecting me bad because I was alone. It was the first time that I was really alone without no family to really go and, but we're chasing our dream. This is our dream that we wanted to do. And this is what I went to school for. It's what you went to school for, right? So we want to do this. So it's a great segue to this question is, if someone were to come up to you and said, I want to do what you do. I want to be a reporter. I want to go out into the community. I want to be a pillar to the community as well. What kind of advice would you give that individual that wants to be where you are?
Don't be scared and to take chances. I never in my life thought I would be moving to Idaho. All I knew about Idaho before moving was that it was there's a lot of potatoes.
Right.
That's all I knew.
Right.
I didn't know anything else. Idaho was never on my mind that I was going to move here. But definitely it's scary. I mean, I don't have my best friends here. My parents are in Florida. We literally moved halfway across the country.
Absolutely.
Like this, and this is not Florida at all. So it was scary, definitely. I went to UCF, but I was 3 years away from my house. I had friends who already went to UCF, so I wasn't alone. I think you need to. So I don't usually work nights. I usually work weekends though.
Sure.
My coworker, who's actually from Minnesota, he's a sports reporter. He works with me on the weekends, and we got really, really close. So we've gone to Yellowstone together. We went to Boise together. And me and him have become really good friends because I like sports. So we watch basketball together, which the playoffs are going on right now, NHL playoffs, which the Florida Panthers are on it, and we both want the Florida Panthers, so go Cats. But yeah, I mean, like, I think, making friends with a coach is very easy because they're already there. But I
Yep.
think you need to be fearless, and it's so hard, and it's so much easier to say this. Take a chance, move, but I'm a very religious person. I think God was calling me to come to Idaho. If you have a
Sure.
gut feeling, you have to take it. Journalism, unfortunately, is not an industry where you will go to a big city immediately. It's just not a thing. I mean, I wanted to
You're
work in
right.
Miami as my first, you know, and I couldn't. Literally said qualifications 3 to 5 years, and I applied and I didn't get a call back. So I think you need to chase your dream, really. You need to make that move, and you need to take a chance and see, because you might also get into this industry and be like, you know what? I kind of don't really like this. And you
Right.
might go into PR or advertising, which are also lanes that a lot of journalists take, and it's not a bad thing at all. Um, but I think you do need to take a chance and see where this career takes you, because although Idaho is not Miami, I've met some incredible people here. I've done stories that I never thought I would do. I mean,
Yep.
covering the Democrats for me was insane. Um, but yeah, like, there was just so many things that I did here that I wouldn't have done if I didn't move, and I wouldn't have met these people. And I wouldn't have seen what a small town is like and how close-knit this community is. It's
Girl,
actually
you
truly
speak.
something that's really
You
beautiful.
are speaking the gospel right now, not the gospel, but the gospel. I'm telling you, definitely doing that. And the reason why I say that is because I came from Atlanta, Georgia. So you already know about big cities being in Orlando. I know about big cities being in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I first started doing sports reporting, right? I used to have a little sports correspondent thing. I used to go out there, talk to the players and the coaches and walk around. I used to be so happy doing that. And then when you talk about moving to a small city, I moved to Marshall, Minnesota. That's where I'm at right now. It's 11,000 people here, Mike. 11,000. That's hella small coming from coming from Atlanta, Georgia. However, when you do these stories here, it's almost movie like. Like people shut down towns, people come together. You stop at a grocery store or a gas station, people know you. They're saying hello, how you doing?
Yeah.
Thanks for writing this. Like it's really crazy how a small town comes together. And like you said, you covered stories that you never thought you would cover in your wildest dreams. And I've covered section championships, state championships. I mean, I was sitting next to somebody I was reading in the newspaper one day. I was like, I saw your name in the newspaper, bro. I read you, and I'm sitting next to you. That's crazy. And just last year at this time, I was doing a different job. I mean, it was absolutely insane how fast things can move, but how blessed I felt to be in that position, to be on that floor, to cover these stories and do something like that, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Um, I want to ask you about hard news and soft news because, especially with news reporters, I know you're more political now, but hard news is so obviously it's hard, but you take it home. Do you find yourself taking some of those hard news stories home with you that you did before?
Uh, like home, like as if I think about them,
Yeah,
or so I try to not think about work when I'm at home mentally for my mental health.
sure.
Uh, there was a story I did called The Library Bill, and it was about and I want to stress this, relocation of books that are obscene. People could
Okay.
complain, libraries have to relocate books. I did the story on librarians' point of view, and people didn't like it because librarians are against it. This is a pretty conservative state, and the librarians were saying that they didn't like the law.
Right.
That story got a lot of hate on it, and got a lot of people not liking me because I wrote it.
Sure.
As a journalist, you have to be unbiased, and I
Yep.
was. This is, again, the librarian's point of view, not mine, not my words.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I took this story home was because of the comments. They hurt you. And the first thing people told me when I came to this station was, do not read the comments. But you will always find
Read
yourself
the comments.
reading comments.
You're right.
People didn't like it. People didn't like it. So I did take it home with me. But, you know, I reached out to people who were the bill, and none of them responded back to me.
Okay.
So I know I did my job. That you didn't like it, my fault. It's not my words. You didn't like it, take it up with the librarian I talked to. I mean, hard news is very controversial, especially political news, especially
Sure.
laws. People will have different ideas and people will be mad at you because you're writing about someone else's point of view. So, yeah, I mean, like, these librarians were against the law, but at the end of the day, I know I did my job.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you're mad about it, I'm sorry. Like, if you want to talk to me, send me an email. I'm more than willing to go and talk to you that you're about your belief. But you can't get mad at me if you don't want to talk to me about why you're
Right.
for the bill. Yeah.
Right. It's just not, it's not worth the energy to put in to something like that, right? I totally understand that. Like, before I get to the next question, be totally transparent with you because, you know, as reporters, yes, when we do these stories, we're trying to do to the best of our abilities. We're trying to report to the best of our abilities. We have to be accurate and all this, that, and the third. But we also know in the back of our minds, every story that we write or do, people are not going to like. And then we're going to get some comments. We're going to get some things that people say. And you definitely have to have thick skin in this industry.
Yeah.
For me, I remember my very first basketball game that I covered. I was so happy. I had the camera around my neck. I was ready. I had my pen, my pad. I had my laptop. And there was a gentleman that came up to me and he was like, "Hi, how are you?" I said, "I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing today?" He's like, "I'm doing good." He said, "You're the new reporter?" So I was a new reporter in town because I'm the only African American reporter that ever hired
Wow.
that they ever hired, right? And it's been over like 45 plus years that this, or 40 some years that this company has been around. So I said, "Yes, sir. I'm the new reporter. My name is Chris Drummond." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't notice that they hired a black reporter." And I got, you know, it was quickly startled. Got startled quickly, but then I was like, "Yes, they did, sir. And I'm going to be writing and reporting on all kind of sports here. And I hope you subscribe and read my articles." And I walked away. But as I was walking away, I was like, whew. You know, when you see it up close and personal and you're like, man, when you get comments like that, you say to yourself, you got to have thick skin. They don't affect you. But those comments do affect you because it's like, again, I'm alone here in Minnesota. And again, I'm completely outnumbered because it's only 3% African American here. So it's not many African Americans that was here. So I totally understand when you're doing stories or when you're doing things and you're new or you're doing something that people don't like, they're going to have a negative connotation towards it. And he just simply their minds will change. And if they don't, then the hell with them because you got a job to do. And that's the way it was. But again, it was my first time ever witnessing something like that, ever being around something like that, because I've never been in a small town and I never really been in a town where it's been predominantly Caucasian, where, you know, not a whole lot of ethnic groups around. That's for sure. But great segue again, because now what I want to do is this or that. Okay. So basically, I'm going to throw two things at you. You choose one or the other. Are you with me, Mai?
Yes, yes.
Okay, here we go. Popeyes or KFC?
KFC.
Okay. We off to a good start. Do you eat chicken wings?
Yes.
Okay. Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Okay. Wet or dry?
Oh, is it wet?
You know, one time, One time I asked that and I was saying, "Do you like it wet or dry?" And they did not know I was talking about wings. I was like, "What else would I be talking about?"
No. I think wet. Yeah, more flavor.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Bone in or boneless?
Boneless.
Okay, got you. Say less. All right. Which concert would you rather attend? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
I like it. I like it.
I
Okay.
love Ken. I love Kendrick Lamar. So that beef, I think Kendrick won it. If that's what you're asking me.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's no question. He crushed them on that one.
Yeah.
Which concert would you rather go to? Eminem or Big Sean?
Big Sean.
Okay, I like that. Which concert would you rather go to? J. Cole or Lil Wayne?
J. Cole.
I like how decisive you are, Mai. I really do. That's what's up. I love that. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I don't think I'm the best, but I don't think I'm bad.
Do
I
you need
like
the
it. I think it's
bumpers?
fun. No, I don't actually.
Okay, good. Okay, I can go. I can go bowling with you then. If you needed the bumpers, that would have been a no. That would have been a hard pass
No, no,
on that one. I got you. I totally got you. Okay. Which sport would you rather watch? Hockey or baseball?
Hockey.
Okay,
Cannot watch baseball.
got you.
I
Got
fall
you.
asleep. I fall asleep.
Okay.
Sorry, like go Marlins and stuff, but I can't. I mean, I could go, but I can't watch on TV.
Yeah, those Marlins are
I love
trash. They're
hockey.
not very good. They're not very good right
They're
now.
not good.
But
Yeah, no.
on the other
But
hand, the
Florida Panthers.
Florida Panthers might repeat as Stanley Cup champions.
Oh, hopefully. I love hockey. So, and that's actually because of my friend from Minnesota. He got me watching it and I really enjoy it. So,
Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay. We got two more of the this or that. Do you like desserts?
yes, love them.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give you four different desserts.
Okay.
You have to eliminate one of these that you'll never eat again. Okay. All right. Here we go. The first one is cookies. The next one is cakes. The third one is candy. The fourth one is ice cream. Which one are you getting rid of?
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Candy.
Wow. Okay. I would have got rid of cake, but I got you.
Okay.
Candy, no
I love
doubt. No doubt. Okay. Okay. All right. Do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay. So same structure. I'm giving you four different brands. You got to choose one to get rid of. Okay.
Okay.
First one is Pringles. The second one is Doritos. The third one is Lay's. The fourth one is Ruffles. What are you getting rid
Doritos.
of? Oh
Doritos.
my.
I don't like
Oh
Doritos.
no. Oh my. Come on now. My.
I
Come
love
on.
I had a box or like a little can of Pringles full last night and I ate them all. I love Pringles. I love Lay's and I love Ruffles. I don't like Doritos.
Okay, okay. You know what? We was vibing this whole episode until that point. Okay. No, but seriously, I do like Ruffles, sour cream and cheddar. That's my favorite chip. So yes,
Okay.
that's my favorite, no doubt. Okay.
Understandable.
What is give me like top three some of your favorite stories you have done since being in this industry?
My first one has to be the library bill. I loved that story. My second one was a possible World War III. And my third one is a Christmas City, USA.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I
Now
won
with
an
this being
award for that one, actually. Look, I actually, sorry for that close up, but I won a third place
wow, look at
with
that. I
Christmas
love it.
story. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That really is.
Yeah.
With election year coming up, it's probably going to be pretty busy for you in the fall, right?
Oh, maybe. I mean, elections time is almost here, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
We'll see what
Give
Idaho
me.
brings.
I know, right? Tell me about it. Give me a top three of people that you would like to interview.
Michelle Obama. I love her. I think she's amazing.
She is amazing.
Yeah. Second, Caitlin Collins.
Okay.
Third, and may she rest in peace, Barbara Walters. She was
Wow.
my
Yes.
role model to
Absolutely.
become a journalist.
Absolutely. The lovely Miss Barbara Walters. No question about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions. Okay. So
Okay.
these are rapid fire. So the first thing that comes up into your mind. Okay. All right. Here we go. Favorite TV show.
How I Met Your Mother.
Okay. Favorite color.
Blue.
I like that. Me too. Favorite board game.
Clue.
Okay.
Clue or Monopoly. It depends.
You know, I'm a monster when I get that boardwalk and park place. They be owing me a whole lot of money. No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. Okay. Favorite card game.
Card game. Oh, no.
Okay. Got you.
I'm really good at Uno. Really good at Uno.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'll keep
I'm really
keep that
good
in mind.
at it.
I like it. Favorite alcoholic drink.
Sex on the Beach.
Like that. If you could listen to 3 albums with no skips, what would those 3 albums be?
So I'm very, very much into reggaeton, Spanish music. So I don't know if everyone's gonna know these albums. Let me think. No skips.
No skips.
Okay. Fade, Inter Shibuya.
Okay.
El Amor y Yo by Jay Wheeler.
Okay.
My third one. Saturno by Raúl Alejandro.
Got you. Okay. What is a concert that you would stand in line for all day long to see that performer? Who would that be?
Fade.
Okay. 2 more of the rapid fire. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes. IHOP pancakes.
I like that. I like IHOP too, by the way. Pretty good. Pretty good. Last but not least, would you rather anchor or would you rather be a reporter out in the field?
Reporter.
I like that. I do. Okay. I also like reggaeton, by the way. I'm a huge huge Ozuna fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
No doubt.
Bad Bunny.
Yep. Don it's Omar. I think it's Don Omar, if I'm not mistaken.
My friend is actually his social media manager. So that's really cool.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's actually an entertainment reporter and she's doing social media for right now. But she's a boss. She's a boss. So.
Okay. Okay. I like Carol G too. I don't know if you're familiar with Carol G.
Yeah, my friend works in the same publicity company as Karol G's, like she works under Karol G's publicist. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Karol G's really, really cool. Yeah.
Oh, you pretty dope. Okay, so you know about that music. I love that. I love that. Okay.
Yeah, I used to do entertainment reporting as an internship. So I do love I do love music. I really do. I love music.
I love that. I do. Okay. What is some advice? Because we talked about advice you gave, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Never lose a holy curiosity and get to know your community, which is 2 things my professor, Rick Brunson, said that first class that I took with him.
Wow. I really love to get to know your community. I love that. That is awesome. I love that. Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So this is a 2-part question. I would love to know recommendations for Florida because number one, I've never been to Florida, and it's crazy because I was in Atlanta, Georgia for a long time, and I never went.
It's right there.
Right, never went to Florida, but I would love some recommendations on where in Florida, maybe Orlando, where you're from, or in Florida, but also recommendations out there in Idaho. I've never been to Idaho either, and I almost took an interview out there prior to coming to Minnesota because they needed a sports reporter at the time. Almost took an interview out there, but I didn't.
Do you know
Give me some
what
recommendations.
do you know what newspaper it was?
It was
The Times? Was it
um,
the Times News?
it was, I believe it was Twin Falls, if I'm not mistaken. The
Yeah, the
newspaper there.
Times News. That's like right there. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah,
A while back, they gave me a shot, and then I was down to them, uh, Nevada, Missouri, and Marshall, Minnesota. So it was down to them three.
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not from Orlando. I'm from Miami, but I did go to school in Orlando.
Okay, talk to me
Um,
about Miami. I'm with it.
yeah. Oh, Miami's the best city in the world. In my opinion, I love Miami. I mean, definitely recommendation would be to go to Brickell. Brickell's really nice. They have restaurants there, stores. It's really, really nice, really nice,
Okay.
very expensive, very expensive. The Miami art district or design district, sorry, is really pretty. I like it.
Mhm.
Again, very expensive, but it's really nice to walk around. Um, and then honestly, I think that a place that is very slept on is Doral, Florida. It's a lot of Venezuelans and a lot of Colombians. The majority, there's obviously all the other countries, but it's really nice and they have really good food there. They have really good food. Um, Sunny Isles Beach is my favorite beach. Love that beach. Sunny Isles is
I've
really
heard of
nice.
that beach. I've never
Um,
been there. Obviously, never been there, but I heard about it.
it's really, really nice. The only thing is part of it's nudist. So you might
Oh,
be like, but there's another part that's not. So you can go to the other part. Um,
yeah, I got to roll to the other part on that
Miami
one.
is known, yeah, Miami is known for nightlife. My favorite club in Miami is Mama Tried. It's in downtown Miami and it's the best club. It's my favorite club. I have a picture with it and everything. I love it. Um, but I mean, there's in the design district, there's a lot of restaurants that are
Okay.
trendy, like Swan. There is one, my mom's Peruvian. There's one
Oh,
restaurant that's really good Peruvian food. It's called Ceviche 105.
I'm with
So
you on
good.
that.
It's amazing.
I love me some
So
Peruvian
yeah,
food, and
those are
mind
some
you,
recommendations. Yeah.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I mean, there's just so many places in Miami you can go to. I can't even give you like, I'd be talking for days. Um, I mean, I love Miami because I'm from there. I know there's people they don't like it, but you guys always rep the 305. So I mean, I really like it. But yeah, I mean, it's not just nightlife. Like it's just insane because there's people from so many countries
Yeah,
that there's one part in Miami where they only speak Spanish and then there's another part where they're not, you know? So it's nice to like have that Hispanic heritage in Miami. I think that's why I'm so close to like my roots being Hispanic because growing up in Miami, everyone is Hispanic basically. So
and there's
yeah.
just no better. I mean, obviously, being African American, being a minority, I
Yeah.
love Hispanic food. I love Hispanic women. I love Hispanic
Yeah.
culture. I love it
Yeah.
all. And definitely love reggaeton. I love to be able to move, dance. I'm probably off beat with the
Yeah.
reggaeton,
Dance.
but that's okay. I still move my feet to it. So I just love having a good time and being
Yeah.
with good people. So for sure. Um,
Yeah.
I want to get you out of here on this question, and that is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude?
I think the biggest thing I want to emphasize is don't be afraid and trust your gut. And honestly, if you kind of don't know what you want to do in life, journalism is always a good option to explore. Like I
Great.
said, I mean, it's very spontaneous, it's very fast moving, but it's also very, very rewarding. I don't think a lot of people, unfortunately, go to the business because they want to anchor, they want to be on TV,
Sure.
they want to, they see it as glamorous. Why I chose reporting instead of anchoring, which I do anchor on the weekends, Reporting lets you meet the community, lets you meet people, and lets you tell a story that can be so special to you. I mean, there's stories. It was hard to pick my 3 top stories because there's a bunch of stories that I've done that I really love. But for
Sure.
example, Christmas City was a soft story, but going out to that town and just seeing how they celebrate Christmas
Mhm.
was amazing. When I felt so alone, and I was like, first times, being alone during the Christmas holiday,
Yeah.
I felt so welcomed, and it was beautiful. It was snowing. I've never seen snow in my entire life. And it was snowing. It's my favorite stand-up. I got my award for it. I spent the whole day there. I mean, again, journalism is a very demanding profession, but it's such a beautiful profession. Um, because you can really tell such powerful stories
Mhm.
and impact people that you would never have thought. There's
Yeah.
a story that I do really like. I mean, my gym story was one that was one I had a lot of fun doing that one, but there's one story I did about foster children.
Okay.
And when you do hard news, you do have to separate your emotions from a
Sure.
story because
Yeah.
you can't be biased, which is kind of in every story, but usually hard news is a little bit harder. That story changed the way I felt about foster children. I mean, not foster children, but just foster care in general. I
Okay.
didn't know how messed up the system was till I did the story. It's really sad how foster care is just how it's taken in and how people get their children back after getting them taken away.
Sure.
Story impacted so many people. I talked to like 4 parents, them in tears telling me that they got their foster children taken away.
Wow.
And I mean, I cried with them. And I think that stories like that are the things I think of when I'm having a hard day and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I think of stories like that. You essentially are kind of, not every story, but you can help people. There's something that my professor also said, which is a quote that I will never forget. Shining a light on stories. There's so many stories, and everyone has a story that's important. You
Sure.
really have to dig deep and, search. But there are so many people with stories that are so important. That story was one of the hardest, but one of the most beneficial stories I've ever done. And there was one story that was a VOSOT. I live in an apartment building. Downstairs there's stores, and there's a boutique called Ooh La La. A month ago, it was prom. Not everyone has money to send their children to prom or to buy a
Yeah.
prom dress because prom
Right.
dresses are expensive. This boutique would give away dresses. You
Wow.
just literally had to say, I can't afford it. And they would pay your ticket and dress or pay one or the other. And 5 people, I think it was 5 people, contacted the store because they saw the report I did on it. And
That's
that was
damn
the
good
biggest
reporting,
compliment.
girl.
I was really happy because it's things like that, like, and that lady actually, she's one of my friends here, and I
I
met
love
her because I was reporting. So you really got to know your community. She's awesome. She's doing a Netflix show soon. She's Armenian. I'm sorry. So
I love that.
yeah,
And that
there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of
I
people
love
here.
it.
So
I
yeah.
love that so much. I really do. And just to quickly reiterate on that point, you have to know your why. That's why I start off with the number one question of knowing your why, of why you're getting into this, right? You talked about glitz and glamour. It's not glitz and glamour, right? These people see you on the TV, right? They see the very beautiful face. You definitely have a TV for television, Maya.
Thank
There's
you.
no question about it. but there's a lot of people that help you behind the scenes. This is why I did the podcast that I wanted to do, because people don't know these behind the scenes stories. People don't know these stories of what you
Oh,
got
I
to
mean,
do.
no one's okay. I was really lucky to start off as weekend anchor. I
Sure.
didn't think that was going to happen. It's
Yeah.
usually not like that. You got to start as a multimedia journalist. Multimedia being you shoot your own stories, you shoot your own interviews, you find your own stories, you edit your own stories, and you write your own stories.
No
But I
doubt.
think it's so because you have a direction of what you want to do. When
Mhm.
you're a reporter in bigger markets, you have your photog, which definitely helps. I mean, it definitely helps because shooting
Oh, no
stories
question.
sometimes is very, very hard. But when you start off as like a multimedia journalist, you can take your story wherever you want, kind of.
Right.
In a way. You're directing your own movie, basically. Um, and yeah, I mean, anchoring's fun and you're on TV, but I think you really need to see the people that help you look good on TV. There's operations in the back. The videos you see,
Yep.
the framing you see, it's them.
Yep. Yep.
They have the hardest job. They they are making you look good on the newscast. You're just sitting and reading or turning in a video. They're behind there doing a bunch of stuff. So I really like to give like kudos to them, to the operations crew, because they are basically holding that whole fort together.
Oh, no question. No question about it. And I'm sure that you are going to go on and do many, many wonderful stories. Now that I definitely had a chance to talk to you, get to know you a little bit, your why, some of your favorite things, why you do what you do. You gave great advice. Um, I know Idaho is a state that I've never visited in my life, to be 100%
Yeah,
honest, but it's definitely on the list. If I'm ever there and you're there, we definitely have to say hello to each other.
definitely. Let me know. I mean, I'll be here in Twin Falls, so for a long time. So I still have like a year and a half in my contract. So I'll be here.
Absolutely. So no question about that. You take care. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
you
hopping on my
too. Thank
podcast
you.
and breaking bread with me. You take care. You have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, my.
Okay. Bye.